Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast about learning English. My name is Emma.
And I'm Max. Today, we're talking about something very important: how to stay consistent when learning English.
That's right, Max. Consistency means doing something regularly. When you learn English, it's very important to practice every day or every week. It helps your brain remember better.
Exactly, Emma, but being consistent can be hard sometimes, right? People are busy or they lose motivation, so we're here to share some tips to help you.
Let's start with a simple one. Make a plan. When you have a plan, you know what to do each day. For example, you can decide to learn 10 new words every day.
Yes, and you don't need to study for hours. Even 10 minutes can make a big difference if you do it every day.
A great idea is to keep your learning tools ready. Have your notebook, your dictionary, or your phone app where you can easily find them. This way, you can start learning quickly without wasting time looking for things.
That's such a good tip, Emma. Another thing is to set a reminder. Use your phone or a calendar to remind yourself. It's easy to forget when you're busy, but a small reminder can help you stay on track.
And don't forget to make it fun. Learning English doesn't have to be boring. You can watch English TV shows, listen to music, or play word games.
That's my favorite part. When you enjoy learning, it doesn't feel like work. Do you know what I love? Watching movies with English subtitles. It's a fun way to practice listening and reading at the same time.
Oh, I love that too, Max. And speaking of fun, try to talk to someone in English every day. It can be a friend, a teacher, or even yourself in the mirror.
Yes, talking helps a lot. Don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes are good because they help you learn.
That's so true. You know, Max, sometimes people feel tired or lazy. What do you do when you don't feel like studying?
Good question, Emma. When I don't feel like it, I tell myself just 5 minutes. Usually, when I start, I want to continue.
That's smart. I think it's also helpful to reward yourself. For example, if you study for a week, give yourself a treat like your favorite snack or some free time.
Yes, rewards can be very motivating, and don't forget to tell your family or friends about your goals. When someone supports you, it's easier to stay consistent.
Absolutely, Max. Another idea is to write down your progress. For example, write what you learned each day. It's nice to look back and see how much you've improved.
That's true, Emma. Seeing your progress makes you feel proud and keeps you motivated to continue.
One last tip for now. Don't try to be perfect. Just focus on doing a little every day. Small steps are better than no steps.
I agree. Remember, learning English is a journey, not a race.
And that's a great way to end this part of our talk. Max, let's keep helping our listeners stay consistent.
Yes, Emma, let's do it. There's so much more to talk about.
So let's keep going. Everyone, now that we've talked about some basic tips for staying consistent, let's dive deeper into what really works for long-term learning.
Yes, consistency isn't just about doing something for a few days. It's about building habits that last.
Exactly, Max. Let's talk about habits. A habit is something you do automatically, like brushing your teeth every morning. Learning English can also become a habit.
That's right, and to make a habit, you need 3 things: a cue, a routine, and a reward.
Oh, that's interesting. Can you explain more about that, Max?
Sure. A cue is something that reminds you to start your habit. For example, if you study English after breakfast every day, breakfast is your cue.
I see. So the cue helps you remember. What about the routine?
The routine is the action you take, like practicing vocabulary or listening to an English podcast.
And the reward?
The reward is what makes you feel good after completing your habit. It could be something small, like saying, "Good job," to yourself, or something bigger, like enjoying a cup of coffee or watching your favorite show.
That makes sense. So if you connect learning English with a positive reward, you'll want to keep doing it.
Exactly, and here's another tip: start small. If you try to do too much at once, you might get tired or frustrated.
That's true. For example, instead of saying, "I'll learn 50 new words today," start with 5 words. 5 is easier and still helpful.
And once you feel comfortable, you can add more. Learning English is like building a house. You do it one brick at a time.
I love that, Max. Speaking of small steps, let's talk about creating a good environment for learning.
Yes, your environment matters a lot. If your space is noisy or messy, it's harder to focus.
That's right. Try to find a quiet and comfortable place to study. Maybe a corner of your room or a desk where you can keep your books and notes.
And if you can't find a quiet place, you can use headphones to block out the noise and listen to English audio.
Great idea. You know, Max, some people say they don't have time to study. What would you tell them?
I'd say, look at your day and find small pockets of time. For example, you can learn a few words while waiting for the bus or listen to a podcast while cooking.
Yes, even 5 or 10 minutes can help. And remember, consistency is about doing a little bit every day, not a lot all at once.
Exactly. Another thing that helps is setting specific goals. For example, instead of saying, "I want to get better at English," say, "I want to learn 20 new words this week," or "I want to practice speaking for 10 minutes every day."
That's such a good point, Max. Specific goals are easier to track. And when you reach your goal, you feel proud and motivated to keep going.
Absolutely. And don't forget to celebrate your progress. Even small wins are important.
Yes, you can treat yourself with something nice, like watching a movie or having a special snack after meeting your goals.
Another thing that works well is using tools and resources. There are so many apps, websites, and videos that can help you learn English.
That's true. Some apps can remind you to study, while others make learning fun with games and quizzes.
And don't forget about books. If you like reading, try reading simple English books or stories.
Oh, and speaking of fun ways to learn, what about creating a playlist of your favorite English songs? You can listen and sing along to practice pronunciation.
I love that. Music is a great way to learn. And if you don't like singing, you can just listen carefully to the words and their meanings.
Another idea is to write in English. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can write about your day, your plans, or even your feelings.
Yes, writing is great. It helps you organize your thoughts and remember grammar rules.
And if you want feedback, you can ask a friend, teacher, or even join an online group for English learners.
That's a fantastic suggestion. Emma, learning with others can be very motivating. When you see other people learning, you feel inspired to keep going too.
Absolutely. And if you don't have a learning partner, you can still talk to yourself in English. It might feel strange at first, but it really helps.
I do that sometimes. Emma, I practice by pretending I'm ordering food at a restaurant or asking for directions.
That's a great way to practice real-life situations. And remember, mistakes are okay. Every mistake is a chance to learn.
Right, nobody learns perfectly from the start. It's all about trying, improving, and staying consistent.
And speaking of staying consistent, one more thing to remember is to be patient. Learning a language takes time, but if you stay consistent, you'll see results.
Exactly. It's like planting a tree. You water it every day and slowly it grows.
That's a beautiful way to put it, Max. So let's keep helping our listeners stay motivated and consistent.
Yes, Emma, there's still more to share, so let's keep going.
All right, everyone, let's keep going and talk about more ways to stay consistent in learning English. So far, we've shared a lot of tips, but there's always more to explore.
That's right, Emma. Learning English is a journey, and we want to make it as easy and enjoyable as possible.
Let's start by talking about how to deal with challenges. Sometimes people feel stuck or frustrated when they don't see progress. Max, what can we do in those moments?
That's a great question, Emma. First, it's important to remind yourself why you started learning English. Maybe it's for work, travel, or making new friends. Keeping your goal in mind can help you stay motivated.
That's so true. Writing down your reasons can be helpful too. Put them somewhere you can see, like on your desk or on your phone screen.
Yes, and another thing is to focus on small improvements. Instead of thinking, I'm not fluent yet, think about what you've already achieved, like learning new words or understanding a movie in English.
That's such a good point, Max. Progress isn't always big and obvious. Sometimes it's the little things, like being able to read a menu or understand a short conversation.
Exactly, and when you feel frustrated, take a short break, but don't give up. A little rest can help you come back with more energy.
That's great advice. Another thing that can help is finding inspiration. For example, watch videos or read stories about people who learned English successfully.
Yes, hearing about other people's success can remind you that it's possible. And remember, everyone's journey is different. Some people learn quickly and others take more time.
That's so important, Max. Comparing yourself to others can be discouraging. Instead, focus on your own progress and celebrate your wins.
Absolutely, and speaking of celebrating, let's talk about how to make your learning routine more fun and creative.
Great idea! One way is to connect English to your hobbies. For example, if you like cooking, you can watch English cooking videos and try following the recipes.
I love that. Or if you enjoy sports, you can watch games with English commentary or read articles about your favorite team.
Yes, when you combine learning with something you love, it feels less like studying and more like enjoying your favorite activities.
Another idea is to create a vision board. Use pictures and words to show your English goals, like visiting an English-speaking country or reading a book in English.
That's a fantastic idea, Max. Seeing your goals every day can keep you motivated and focused.
And don't forget to mix up your routine. If you always study the same way, it can get boring. Try new activities like playing word games, listening to podcasts, or even writing a short story.
Yes, variety is key. You can also try shadowing. Have you heard of that, Max?
Oh, yes, shadowing is when you listen to someone speaking English and repeat what they say right after them. It's great for improving pronunciation and fluency.
Exactly. You can do it with videos, songs, or podcasts. It feels like you're practicing with a teacher.
Speaking of practice, let's not forget about speaking regularly. Even if you don't have a partner, try recording yourself speaking in English.
That's a great tip, Max. Listening to your own recordings can help you notice your strengths and areas for improvement.
And if you're shy, start small. Talk to yourself about your day or describe what you see around you.
Yes, and as you get more confident, you can join language exchange groups or online communities to practice with others.
That's a great way to meet people and learn at the same time. And don't forget, everyone makes mistakes. It's part of learning.
Absolutely. Mistakes mean you're trying, and trying is the most important part of learning.
One more thing. Emma, what do you think about setting a learning challenge?
Oh, I love that idea. A challenge can be so motivating. For example, challenge yourself to learn 100 new words in a month or finish reading a short book in English.
Yes, and you can even do it with friends or classmates. A friendly competition makes it more exciting.
Definitely, and don't forget to review what you've learned. Sometimes we focus too much on learning new things and forget to review old lessons.
That's true. Reviewing helps you remember better and feel more confident. You can use flashcards, quizzes, or even teach someone else what you've learned.
Teaching is such a good idea, Max. When you explain something to someone else, you understand it better yourself.
Exactly, and speaking of understanding, let's talk about patience. Learning English takes time, and it's okay to go slow.
That's so important, Max. Sometimes people expect to be fluent in a few months, but it's a long-term process. Be kind to yourself and enjoy the journey.
Yes, and remember, consistency is more important than speed. Even if you practice for just 10 minutes a day, it adds up over time.
That's so true. And before we finish, I just want to remind everyone to stay positive. Believe in yourself and your ability to improve.
Absolutely, Emma, learning English is a challenge, but it's also an amazing opportunity to connect with people and explore new ideas.
Yes, and we're so proud of everyone listening today. You're already taking a big step by learning and staying consistent.
That's right. Keep going and don't give up. Every little effort brings you closer to your goal.
And that brings us to the end of today's podcast. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this podcast with your family and friends.
We're here to help you on your English journey, so keep learning, stay consistent, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Keep practicing and take care.